Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to Dawn and Dreams. It is Priestess of the African River Eagle, aka Ms.Z, on this channel. If you would, please make sure that you like and subscribe. Comment down below. I love to read the comments. If you would like to book a reading with me, please go to dawnanddreams.com. That link will be in the description box. Shout out to you guys for sending in donations. If you would like to do that, that's also in the description box as well. You can also purchase handmade items from me on the shop, such as bracelets and other things I'm going to have on there too. Dreamcatchers, things of that nature. So always check back on the shop. All right, guys, so this is going to be another teaching video that I wanted to do. It's going to be a very quick one. I want to talk about how to know if you are under spiritual attack. Okay, so I have three things that I want to bring to you guys. The first way to know if you are under a spiritual attack is abnormal dream activity. Okay, so with your dreams, dreams are very vast. So I always advise people to get a reading if you are confused. You know, you don't have to mistake things. You can always get a reading to look further into something. That's what the spiritualists are here for. That's what we're here for. You get a reading if you feel like you're under spiritual attack and you need to confirm things. But one of the best ways to know if you are under spiritual attack is your dream realm. You are either not sleeping at all, or you are having a lot of negative dreams. I don't really want to say nightmares because nightmares can be a message for you. It doesn't always have to be bad, so it just depends on what the dream contains. Within a dream, you may dream about something attacking you, like if you have like a snake actually attacking you, not chasing you. And chasing can be a thing too, but you just need to get clarification because sometimes these things are callings. So if it is an animal attacking you, physically trying to harm you, then that's something that you need to look into because that could represent an enemy. Another thing I want to point out too, it's very important to dream. If you are not dreaming, you're missing a lot of messages. This is the reason why a lot of people will go through things, but they'll never know about it because they're not dreaming in order to tell you. The highest form of divination to me is to be able to see visions and things of that nature. And where can we all see visions? In our dreams. So if you're not dreaming, you're missing a lot of things, and people can do things to you and you don't know. Another thing is if you are not dreaming and you're staying up at night, you're staying up all walks of the night, you can hardly sleep, that is also a sign of being under spiritual attack, because a true spiritualist doesn't want you to dream, doesn't want you to go to the dream realm. They want you to stay up all night having anxiety and worried about things. That can also be a sign, but I say that lightly because some people, they don't do the proper things to go to sleep. But if you're having trouble sleeping all of a sudden, feeling bothered, you keep waking up in all walks of the night, that can be a sign. And under this doesn't go under number 2, but I want to point that out too. If you are seeing, so I guess this would be a fourth one, but anyway, if you are seeing like certain insects and bugs and things like that, that can be an indicator too. Okay, if you keep a clean house and all of a sudden a cockroach comes in your house, that's a sign. And I learned this within native traditions, but also things I've seen myself. Everybody knows if you see flies, that could be someone, being nosy or something like that. But, pay attention to the things that come around you too during that time if you feel like you're under a spiritual attack. It could be, again, cockroaches, it could be roaches, bugs, anything that you would associate with being dirty, those type of things, and you're a pretty clean person and it just randomly shows up in your space or in your house, that's something to pay attention to. Spirit is trying to let you know the things that you can't see. Okay, let me go on to number 2. Okay, another way to know if you are under spiritual attack is if everything around you goes from one phase to the next. Now, some people, be careful now, because I told you, I would advise getting a reading if you're confused. But one way to know is if your life goes from one phase to the next. And this is something, one of my teachers taught me in the beginning. She said, you'll know if you're under a spiritual attack. And I was very young then. I was like 18. So anyway, she said, you'll know if you're under a spiritual attack because when you are getting sales, when business is good, and then all of a sudden everything just stops, that's something to pay attention to. If everything just stops, sales are not coming in, you're not getting clients. Um, and if you don't work, if you don't have a business or something like that, it could be your life in general. Like, one day you have a happy marriage, and then the next day you're fighting each other. One day you have friends, and the next day everybody's just cutting you off. People are ignoring you. Life becomes extremely harder out of nowhere. That is an indicator of someone spiritually attacking you, because likely someone wants you to be in that situation. And it can depend on who it's coming from. Sometimes that comes from an ex, sometimes that comes from somebody jealous of your life. But yes, if your life goes from one phase to the next, you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention, because that's not normal. Spirit wants you to well, not spirit, the enemy wants you to think that it's normal for your life to go through ups and downs like that. But really, it just depends on if you are going through a transitional phase in your life. Because when we go through transitions, when we're elevating, we're going to go through some challenges. But again, if all week long things have been good, but then you go through a sudden drought, and it gets to the point that you can't pay your bills, you can't do things that you would normally be able to do. And then if you, like I said, if you have a business, you can really tell, because your clients won't be able to pay for things. They'll make excuses as to how I'm gonna have to wait until my check come, or I'm gonna wait to pay you, and things like that. They're not even able to access you anymore. That is a clear sign that someone is sending negative energy to your business, and negative energy to the things that you want to do. If you have a relationship, and again, normally we all go through things in relationships, so I say that lightly, but if the person, it gets to the point that you don't even want to be with them anymore, all of a sudden, and you love this person, this is your soulmate, a lot of times that is a spiritual attack being sent to you and your relationship. And relationships are the easiest thing to target, because again, we pretty much take those things to be normal when it's not normal. Finances as well too. If you went from having a lot of money to struggling all of a sudden, and it's hard for you to get up off your feet, and you'll, like I said, you'll notice, because again, if you were able to stay on time with your bills and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden you're not on time with your bills, that is a sign. And I want to make sure I'm covering everything in this one, because this is one I see a lot when people are under spiritual attack during readings. Okay, so I can't think of anything right now. Maybe I'll come back to it. For the third one that I want to bring to you guys is third way to know that you're under a spiritual attack is you personally. This is why it's good to know yourself, and how you move around. Um, a way to know if you are under spiritual attack is if you start feeling depressed out of nowhere, you start feeling a heavy weight on your shoulders, you start feeling like you don't want to be here anymore. These things are very serious, and when I say this, I'm going to go into my next thing about it. You are not keeping up with your hygiene. You used to be a person to take showers and things like that every day. Now you're skipping days. Now it's okay. I'm not judging nobody if they skip a day or two. But if you going on like a week, without a shower, 3 to 4 days without a shower, and you're just feeling real low on top of that, that's something to be aware of. And it's not funny, because I've seen people who had good hygiene go from that to not taking showers, baths, anything. And it is because, normally a spirit gravitates to you when you are on that frequency, and they'll keep you from doing those things. And it's not a joke. It's really not. And I say that because a lot of people will be like, oh, you're nasty, da da da. And you don't even realize that that person is under a spiritual attack, or they have a spirit on them, a negative spirit that's on them, that's weighing their spirit down. And the spirit does not like to be in clean environments. So they will keep you from getting a shower and things like that, to keep you on a dirty frequency. So just be aware of that if you see people in your family, your friends, even yourself. If you feel like, I don't even want to get out of bed, I don't even want to try today, what's the point of things? These are things that come a lot of times from spiritual attacks. It's not just you feeling like that, or, all of a sudden out of nowhere. And it's normally not out of nowhere. You'll have a reason to associate with why you're feeling depressed, but a lot of times it's not enough for you to be feeling, going from, having your life together to, you want to give up. Those are completely two different energies that you need to pay attention to. Like basically, let's say for instance, something isn't really that serious, but you are making it like the world is over because of that one incident. That is, a sign of a spiritual attack, because someone could send energy to you to where you want to give up and you self-destruct. Okay, so you want to pay attention to those things. Pay attention to the fact that you don't want to get out of bed. Pay attention to the fact that you are, speaking negativity over your life all the time. You are self-destructing, so the person doesn't really have to do much because you're doing it yourself. You are giving up on life. You're giving up on your dreams. So you're doing it yourself. Okay. And I think that's one of the worst spells to have, because you may not even realize that it's coming from somebody else. You may think that that's just you, this, that, the third. And people can be up under this for years, because again, once you get under that low frequency, you're attracting negative spirits to get on you. And then it's even harder for you to clean yourself up, get yourself back together, because now you have a spirit on your shoulders that wants you to continue to be in that environment, continue to be negative, continue to be angry, continue to not want to be here. Okay, so if you have, and I'm not here to diagnose anybody, but if you have somebody who's always depressed, always in low energy, and this spirit can carry on you for years, before you do anything about it. So if you have someone who has that type of spirit on them, a lot of times, again, that is a negative spirit that's on them, but also that's a spiritual attack, and they may need, depending on how long it is, they're gonna need more than a shower. They're gonna need a spiritual bath. They're gonna need consistent baths. They may need removal of the negative spirit that's on them, things of that nature. So that one can get pretty deep, because again, that's you self-destructing on behalf of the spiritual attack. And let me see if I have anything else to say about I don't know if you're under a spiritual attack. One second. I think that's all I want to cover for today. Please check out my other videos. I am going to get the other one up as far as ways to know that you have a spiritual calling. I just have to be called to do it. Once I get around to giving the video, I want it to be a good one. So stay tuned for that. But I will be continuously uploading these teaching videos for you guys. So make sure that you support the channel with this. Make sure you like the videos. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share these videos, okay? Because this is something that I want to bring to the channel. I'm also going to be doing, love readings, bringing that back, because Spirit told me that's what I got to do. So it's going to be a lot of different changes on this channel. But, I hope that you guys support it. Make sure that you comment. And yes, peace.